just worried that due to Ptak's economy, there would be a sudden influx of mutalisks and suddenly his base would be overrun. So maybe just feeling a bit paranoid. I guess both players are a little bit sort of uncomfortable because they're not used to a Zerg versus Zerg game sort of going on like this and being drawn out in a defensive way. Finally, we've got a drone coming out here to actually look for a third base, which is what I'd be doing if I was in this situation. It's not a bad idea. And check it out. Look what we've got here. Ptak's evolution chamber is researching ranged damage, and there we go, a Hydralisk den. So this is really interesting stuff. And another building. Oh my god, we've got 2 Hydralisk dens. I wonder what unit he's building. No, guys, this can only mean upgraded Hydras and probably even Lurkers, so this is extremely interesting. It's only very rarely that a Zerg player goes out on the limb and tries the Hydralisk strat in Zerg versus Zerg, and it's a real cause of celebration, especially for enthusiasts like myself, to see that kind of thing, because it's real great to see diversity in StarCraft. Especially in situations where you see the same thing all over again. And I'm really excited about seeing how this is going to play out, because Ptak's built up a big economy. If he can just rush out with a whole bunch of Hydralisks and Scourges, he's easily going to be able to take care of Redeemer's Mutalisks. And we might actually see a decisive game here with Hydralisks being used, so this could actually be really cool. I don't know if Redeemer is even aware of what's going on in Ptak's base. I've got to say no, because there's no overlords around, and there's no way of scouting if you're Zerg to just get in the base. Zerg don't have scan sweeps or observers, of course. Queen's Nest as well, so really just laying it on. We've got Hydralisk range and speed upgrade going down, so definitely a lot of Hydralisks he's going to be committing to. And with Hive, I think he's really preparing to put in a big push there. I think I see it like a pool of blood there. It means that Ptak has scouted this expansion with his Zergling, so he knows he's got to move fairly fast. This is Ptak's group of Mutalisks, by the way. I didn't realise he'd built some, but I think that's quite a good idea. It gives you an opportunity to move out and do a little bit of scouting with some military units and pick off some Overlords or Zerglings around the map, just to make sure that your opponent isn't getting a lot more expansions than you expect. And a lot of Mutalisks for Redeemer, so he's really heavy on that, and he has started upgrading them, but even that huge amount of Mutalisks is not going to be enough if Ptak builds up a large amount of Scourges and Hydralisks, and he's actually upgrading Lurkers too, so yeah, that'll be really fun to see. It's always interesting to think about that on paper, Lurkers really just wipe the floor with Zerglings, but Lurkers are just such a difficult unit to get successfully in Zerg versus Zerg, because the matchup is just so cutthroat and just razor edge in the first 10 minutes of the game, that if you try and branch out and build a Hydralisk den and upgrade the lair and then build the Lurkers, you just don't have enough time, because you need to fight back with Mutalisks and Zerglings as fast and hard as you can. It's just not enough time to do it. But because this game has turned out kind of weird with all that defense going down, this player has got a lot of time to actually commit to Hydralisks and Lurkers, and if you put a group of Hydralisks and Lurkers against Zerglings and Mutalisks, the Hydralisks and Lurkers are actually the more effective army. It's just because of timing considerations and just the pressure considerations that Mutalisks and Zerglings are a much better strategy in Zerg versus Zerg, and it's funny how that plays out. I really wish that more Zerg versus Zerg games were like this. They'd definitely be more popular. And once again, we're still waiting for a push. We're still waiting for either player to really leave his base and do something interesting. Here we've got a Great Aspire for Ptak, so he's really just having a very, very mixed army. We've got, I think we haven't got any Zerglings, but we've got Hydralisks, we've got Lurkers, Scourges, Mutalisks, and soon those Mutalisks are going to be turning into either Devourers or Guardians. And Redeemer is simply just going pure Mutalisk, definitely the inferior army at this point, but if Ptak doesn't push out soon, I can't stress this enough, he's going to lose the economic advantage, because before long Redeemer, I guess, will just start making a few more drones, and with the fact that he's on 3 bases, it's just going to be tough. I think that's +2 weapons now for the Hydralisk, so they're definitely going to be dishing out a lot of damage, and I don't think that's enough Mutalisks to really deal with everything that Ptak has got. Upgrading now looks like Devourers, so he's not going Guardians. I think that would be a bit silly given the number of Mutalisks that Redeemer has, although you've got to say that Ptak is not actually sure what kind of unit composition Redeemer has. Redeemer's got his hive up as well, and is also going for a Great Aspire, and I think Guardians would actually be a better choice than Devourers for Redeemer, so it's really, really interesting how we're actually seeing a big mix of units from both players, and we can really sort of this game's a real treat for enthusiasts just to see how it works out, and it looks like with the push is coming now. Ptak has finally decided to move out of space, so almost 20 minutes into the game, and finally we've got something decisive happening, so this is what we've been waiting for, guys. We've got Devourers, Hydralisks, Lurkers, some Scourges, the whole shebang, and a whole massive army moving out to the middle of the map. I think there's going to be a catastrophic battle here, so really looking forward to this. Soon Redeemer's going to realise what is about to happen to him, and he's going to have to really take some evasive manoeuvres and pull something out of the bag, because that army that's in the middle of the map is poised to pretty much crush anything that Redeemer has got. And I really love that idea because it's a very unconventional unit mix. Now got a 4th base going down for Redeemer, but yeah, it's just going to... Then this next battle is going to determine whether he's going to be able to keep such bases. And we've got a 3rd base going down now for Ptak, but yeah, Mutalisks coming in, so the Mutalisks have actually spotted these units, so we've got an attack going in with the Devourers fending off the Mutalisks, and these Mutalisks realise that they're not going to be able to win against that huge ground army, and are now running Scourges in pursuit. I don't see why he doesn't just snipe those Scourges right now. He's got plenty of units to do that. But again, forces moving direct to the middle of the map, so a bit of a sort of a guerrilla fight there, nothing too committed. Oh my god, just turn around and blast them. He's got like 20 or 30 Mutalisks there. All he needs to turn around and shoot, and the Scourges will die. Looks like he's upgrading Devourers. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess he just wants to combat Ptak's Devourers, so both players will have a set of Devourers. But when you've got Devourers against Devourers, and one player's got Hydralisks, the other player's got Mutalisks, I definitely still favour the Hydralisks, because all of those acid spores are just going to make it even easier for the Hydralisk to carve the Mutalisks up, and if the Hydralisk player, if Ptak loses his Devourers, it's not really going to matter too much, because it's his ground force which is what matters to do the damage at the end of the day. Whew, okay, edge of my seat, guys. Really can't wait for this fight to get underway. I hope that both players just commit all their forces into an epic, catastrophic battle. This is why they call it Brood War, by the way. It's the battle to the death between the 2 Zerg broods, just like in the story mode campaign with Kerrigan. One brood against the next. We've got Defilers out now, so oh my god, what units haven't we seen so far? Haven't seen Queens, haven't seen Ultralisks. That's it. So, extremely diverse game. As it was said on Team Liquid, I think, as the sort of blurb for this replay. This is what every Zerg versus Zerg game should look like, and I definitely agree with that. If StarCraft would be an even better game than it is if Zerg vs Zerg was like this. And Guardian's moving out now for Redeemer, so he's actually starting to blast away with acid spores, but that's not going to work. He's not actually supporting them with any units, so he's got Devourers there, but Ptak has got a lot of forces just to stave this off, and everything's covered in acid spores now. It looks like things might be heating up, where it might be getting ready to actually have a confrontation right now. Oh my god, Defiler's moving in. Defiler's going to be casting something. We've got a massive air battle going off, covered in acid. Dark Swarm going down now, so Dark Swarm excellent against Hydralisks. I think that's a fantastic move. Quick thinking by Redeemer to actually pull that out of the bag just to get them ready. And the battle has not actually got completely underway. We've pulled back, but wow, it's just fantastic seeing so many Zerg units being used. And it's really excellent because the Swarms counter the Hydralisks perfectly, but he's got Lurkers as well, and Lurkers are just brilliant underneath Swarms. And oh my god, what's this? What the fuck? Oh my god, did you see that he just actually put down an offensive nydus canal? Redeemer has put down an offensive nydus canal in Ptak's base. Oh my god, and Zerglings are swarming in. This is terrible for Ptak. He's got his whole army out in the field and there's been no battle, and these cracklings are just swarming into his base. He's going to have to do something quick, otherwise he's going to lose his entire lot of tech, all those Hydralisk stens and the hive, the Great Aspire. And look, it looks like he's doing nothing. I don't know why he's not moving his forces back. Redeemer is just, oh my god, this only took like 10 seconds and everything got wiped out with just that offensive nydus canal. That's amazing. I don't think I've ever actually seen that in the game of StarCraft. I know it's been done before, I haven't actually witnessed it. That is so cool. Redeemer built a nydus canal back at his base and then planted it at the other end down at Ptak's base, and oh my god, here's the fight. So looks like Ptak, his plan instead of sacrifice, he just decided to sacrifice his tech and he's going to try and end it, and he's going to need to end it. He's actually moving his massive force in, and Hydralisks are actually ripping the units right out of the sky there. So a decisive victory there for Ptak, and he's going to look to follow this up, wiping out Redeemer's main. So he's lost his tech, and he can't afford to dilly-dally, just mess around for too long. He's really going to have to move in, and there's the culprit nydus canal, which caused him so much damage.